Good morning. So I'm going to get started. I'm Dr. Kiki Liggins, and I'm founder of retirementobsessed.com. And we have a launch coming up on January 21st at 7 p.m. And I hope you all will be there. I want to see everyone show up. And so we can build this community. It is free, it is virtual, it's on Zoom. So you don't have to worry about, um, you know, paying for this event. You don't have to worry about being in a physical location. Um, and I'm looking forward to building a community with everyone. So I'm going to just wait just a little bit, see if some people are able to join, since this is my first live and it's a little nerve wracking because you feel like you're just talking to yourself or to the atmosphere, because this is new. And so when it comes to our finances, sometimes those things are new to us, you know? Sorry, I'm doing some setup stuff. Hey, good morning, those who joined. I'm Dr. Kiki with Retirement Obsessed. Sorry, it's my first time going live, so I'm clicking on different things, trying to understand how this works. Thanks for those that have joined me. Thank you for being here. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to get started. Again, I'm Dr. Kiki. I'm with retirementobsessed.com, and I am excited to be here. This is my first live, and I'm learning just like you all are going to learn in this community to earn more, pay debt, and save for retirement. I hope we build a community of women who want to focus on those goals, whatever their financial goals may be, how it may help their families and themselves. And I'm excited that we're going to announce today that we're starting a Retirement Obsessed book club. Yay! And our first book is right here. Hopefully you can see it. It's called Get Good with Money by Tiffany Aliche. I believe I'm pronouncing her name properly. She also goes by the Budgetnista, and it says 10 simple steps to becoming financially whole. So that's the first book that we are going to read together. So I encourage you to get your copy from your local library, to purchase it online. There's so many places you can purchase books online if you want to own the book, if you like doing notes, if you like writing things down in the books. You know, if you like to put notes in the books, that's a good option there. So again, we're having this book club. Thank you for those who just joined. I appreciate all of you who are here with me. And what it says join the money movement of more than 1 million women who have learned to budget, save, and invest with America's favorite financial educator, Tiffany Aliche, aka the Budgetnista. So Tiffany Aliche was a successful preschool teacher with a healthy nest egg when a recession put her out of a job and advice from a shady advisor. And it got her into a whole financial hole, is what it says. And I believe they're referring to the recession of 2008. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to read more. We'll find out more because I haven't read this book. I'm reading it along with you all for the book club. And we're kind of doing more of a book study, right? We're going to read this book together. We're going to have conversations. We're going to talk about this book and how to get good with money. So then it goes on to say, as she began to chart a path to her financial rescue, a 10-step outline for a formula to attain both financial security and peace of mind began to shape. So these principles have now helped more than 1 million women worldwide save and pay off millions in debt and begin planning for a richer life. That's the goal of this book, right? That's her way of helping. And then it talks about revealing this practice and using practical steps. Thank you all for joining. I see different people joining. Thank you all for being here. We're talking about Get Good with Money by Tiffany Aliche. Thank you for joining me. So, and then she goes on to say that Get Good with Money introduces the powerful concept of building wealth through financial wholeness, a realistic, achievable, and energizing alternative to get rich quick, overcomplicated money management systems with helpful checklists, worksheets, a tool of kit of resources, and advanced advice from experts whom Tiffany relies on. And she calls them her Budgetnista boosters. So that's who we're talking about right there. Then let's see. She also says, Get Good with Money gets crystal clear on the short-term actions that lead to long-term goals, including the first one, a simple technique to determine your baseline or noodle budget. Examine, systemize your expenses, and lay out a plan that allows you to say yes to your dreams. So the first thing that she's talking about in this book is making sure that we budget, right? Because budgeting is key. Budgeting gives us financial freedom. It tells us how we can spend our money, and then we don't feel guilty for how we're spending our money. That's what that is. You know, that's what we're doing when we're talking about getting good with money. The first step is making a budget, and that's what she's talking about here. Then it says another goal is an assessment tool that helps you understand whether you have a don't make enough problem or a spend too much issue, as well as ways to fix both. And for some people, they may have both. They may not earn enough money, and then they're also spending too much money. I don't know which category you fall in, but it is interesting to think about that and self-reflect for yourself. Which category do you fit in? Do you have a situation where you don't earn enough money? Or do you have a situation where you spend too much money? Or like I said, you have a problem and it's both? So then she talks about best practices for saving for a rainy day fund, or AKA like a job loss, or for a big ticket item. Like, are you saving for a house? You saving for a trip, a vacation, a cruise, a car? What are you saving for? And for money that can be invested for your future. So that's what she's talking about here. Saving for that rainy day, because we all know stuff's going to happen with the car, right? You're going to need oil changes. That's regular. But then you're going to need brakes at some point. You may need some other things that have to be fixed on your car. You have maintenance things, but you also have stuff when there's some challenges with your car. If you are a homeowner, you may run into a situation where now you have to think about, oh, I have to replace the electrical panel. I have to replace my AC unit or something like that. Things go wrong with your house. And sometimes insurance or homeowner's warranty doesn't cover it all. Even if you live in an apartment, you still have to be mindful of that. If there's an issue, an emergency issue in your apartment, you want to be financially prepared. Or unfortunately, someone in your family passes away, and then you have to make a quick trip out of state, right? To be there for your family, to be there to see them. That's why we budget and we plan ahead. So then she talks about, in the book, she's going to share detailed advice and action steps for taking charge of your credit, maximizing bill paying, automation, savings, and investing, and calculating your life, disability, and property insurance needs. So when we think about our credit, right, people are always talking about credit. There's so many people that help you manage your credit, help you talk about your debt and how to pay that down so you can have a good debt to income ratio, etc. She's going to tell us the tips and tricks and ways that we can save money and build our credit. And credit is used for so many different things. Somebody might be new to the credit system. How does that work? What do we use it for? Well, the credit system has 3 different bureaus. I am not an expert on that, but we're going to learn more about it. And each of those bureaus, they report basically like your grade. They give you a grade basically, right? And it's a range score, and it's either you have bad credit or fair credit or good credit or great credit or something of that effect, right? So she's going to talk more about ways that we can build our credit if that is an issue for us. And then lastly, ways to protect your beneficiary's future and ensure that your financial wishes will stand the test of time. This is so important because all of us have had people in our family who've passed away, right? We've had our grandparents pass away, unfortunately, sometimes, aunts, uncles, cousins, parents. We've had people in our lives that have unfortunately passed away. And when they are not prepared and they didn't plan ahead, it puts everybody else in the family into a pickle, right? Because then we're like, okay, well, now what do we do? Like, grandma didn't leave clear instructions. There was no will. There was nothing put together. What do we do now when we don't have a plan, when our family member didn't leave us a plan? Thank you for those who are sending gifts, who are sending things. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And so I want to make sure that we learn from this book, right? This is an opportunity for us to have this book study, book club, and learn together. And she's going to teach us about that. So when, God forbid, something happens to us, our family isn't there just left holding a bag. They aren't just there being like, okay, I don't know what to do now, So anywho, and then on the back, it says different feedback and praise for the book. It talks about, one quote says, there are moments when you see someone aligned with their true calling, and that is Tiffany Aliche as the budgetnista. Aliche can take the most complex of money concepts and distill them into something relatable and understandable. No matter where you stand in your money journey, Get Good with Money has a lesson or two for you. That's what Erin Laurie said. She's a best-selling author of the Broke Millennial series. Who knows? That might be another book that we read. Who knows? So then, there's so many more, so I'm not going to read all of them, but there's great feedback for the book on the back of the book. And then let's look inside of the book. Oh, I love the smell of a book. I don't know about you guys, but I just love the smell of a book. I sniff books. It's weird, I know, but I love the smell of a book. I don't know. And I have to have a physical book. This is why I've never been a person that's like into e-reading. I just love a physical hard copy, something about it. I just love it. So again, we're talking about Get Good with Money. 10 Simple Steps to Becoming Financially Whole by Tiffany Aliche. Again, I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I have to look into that. But she also goes by the Budgetnista. She has her acknowledgments to her family and her sisters and to all of her dream catchers. That part I'll read to you. To my dream catchers, I finally cracked the code. This book is my love letter to you. I hope it's the light that shines to lead the way, and it helps to illuminate the dark places while on your journey towards your richer life. Thank you for inspiring me to find the solutions and to share them joyfully. So this is her acknowledgement and thank you to her readers. And she calls us her dream catchers. That's what I want us to be. We are dream catchers. We are working on ways to earn more, pay debt, and save for retirement. That's what we're doing here. So in the book, she has table of contents, right? Again, we're talking about Get Good with Money. That's the book that we're looking at. And in her table of contents, she has 11 chapters in this book. The first chapter is Before We Begin, Get to Know Financial Wholeness. Thank you all for joining. I see you. Thank you there for joining. We're talking about Get Good with Money. Retirement Obsessed is going to be doing a book club and a book study of this book so that we can learn more ways to earn more, pay debt, and save for retirement. Thank you for being a part of the community. Chapter 2 is 10% whole budget building. Again, we need to talk about budgeting, right? We all need to budget. No matter what our income is, no matter what we're earning, we all need to budget. It is so important that we budget and that we build up our income and that we figure out what to do with our income, right? So even if we feel like, well, we don't earn enough, then we need to be very strategic. Then we definitely need to budget on how to take care of our money and where to put our money if we feel like we don't earn enough, right? We have to be very strategic. So chapter 3 is 20% whole, save like a squirrel. I'm interested in that chapter. I want to see the tips and tricks she's sharing with us to to be able to save like a squirrel. So I'm just saying hi to some people. Thank you guys for joining. Again, we're talking about Get Good with Money. And then she says 30% whole, dig out of debt. Woo! Debt. It is such a problem for so many people, including myself. And for me, it started very young because I just didn't know any better about debt. And it started with student loans. That was the first big debt that I ever had and that I had to deal with because I was 17 years old, soon to be 18, going to college. And I didn't know anything about student loan debt. There was no college saving fund for me. And so I got student loans to go to school, and I went out of state and I went private schools because I didn't know any better. You know, you just don't know what you don't know. So saying hi to some people. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you being here. This is awesome. I thought I was going to be talking to myself. This is great. I'm very excited to see you all here. Again, we're talking about Get Good with Money. Welcome to Retirement Obsessed, where we learn together, a community of women to earn more, pay debt, and save for retirement. I'm happy to see you all here. We're going through the table of contents for Get Good with Money so we can better understand how to, do better with our money. When you know better, you do better, right? That's the whole goal. So I was going through the chapters, and now I was talking about what chapter 5 is focused on. We just talked about chapter 4, which is focused on digging out of debt. Chapter 5 is focused on the score high. It's called 40% whole, score high, credit. Credit. So just about everything we need to do when we need to borrow money, they're going to look at our credit. Almost everything we do, they're going to look at our credit. We're going to learn more about, well, what's a credit score? How do we build it up? How does that impact us? And, like, for example, interest rates, right? If we don't have a good credit score, it's going to affect our interest rate that we get when we apply for a credit card, when we apply for a personal loan, we apply for a mortgage, all of those things, that credit matters. And in this book, she's going to tell us ways to build our credit score. Chapter 6, she talks about 50% whole, and it says learn to earn, increase your income. We could all use more money, right? Like, that's everybody. I don't care how much you earn, you wouldn't turn down $1. If somebody's going to give you that money, you would not turn it down, right? We all want to earn more. And why do we need to earn more? We need to earn more money to pay debt and save for retirement. And then next is 60% whole, invest like an insider, retirement and wealth. Retirement and wealth, guys. Retirement sometimes seems so far away. Like if you're in your teens or your 20s, sometimes in your 30s, it's like, retirement? I got a long time. I don't have to think about that. Time flies. Time flies when you're having fun, right? So that time just goes right on by. And then you're like, oh, well, now what? I didn't save a thing. I was just trying to make it. Well, we have to be strategic and planning for that retirement, right? We want to make sure, sorry, saying hi to some folks. Thank you for joining. We're talking about Get Good with Money, doing a little book study, and we're going to be doing this on Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. on TikTok Live. But this is the introduction to it. So retirement, it sometimes can seem far away. It can seem like, well, I'll worry about that later. But if you start now, you can enjoy that when it's later. When later comes, you can enjoy that retirement if you start saving now. And this book is going to give us information on how we can do that, how we can grow our nest egg, what types of things we should be concerned about, how we should budget our money, really understanding the ways we can prepare for that retirement. So when retirement age comes and we're in our golden years, we're not like, okay, now what? Like Social Security? Don't depend on that. Don't depend on that. You have people today in this economy who cannot afford to live, eat, and take care of themselves on Social Security. It is not enough. So if you are a millennial like me, or you are a Gen Zer, or, who knows what's going to be available to us when we hit retirement age? No idea, right? So we can't depend on Social Security, because those that are retired now, which will probably be our baby boomers and also possibly our Gen Xers, is not enough. It is not enough to live on. Social Security is nothing, right? So we have to do our due diligence. We have to learn ways that we can save for our retirement and get good with money. Then she says 70% whole. That's chapter 8, get good with insurance. Insurance is so important. And there's different belief systems about insurance. Some people believe that insurance is not an investment vehicle, right? And other people believe that it's an investment vehicle. There are other people who believe that. They believe that you can use your insurance, and typically that's whole life insurance, and you can use that as an investment vehicle. So again, there's varying opinions on that. I'm curious to see if when we read the book, if she is going to break that down and sort of give her perspective on it, or if she's just going to provide the information in the varying opinions, or just curious how she's going to tackle that and how she's going to share information about getting good with insurance. Chapter 9 is 80% whole, grow rich-ish, increase your net worth. So we all want ways to increase our net worth, right? We all want to grow. We all want to save money. We all want to earn more. We all want to pay down debt, all those things, right? We all want to do that. So increasing our net worth is right up our alley, right? We all want that. Thank you for joining. Hi guys. Sorry, I keep forgetting to acknowledge you. I appreciate you being here and joining me on this live. Thank you. Thank you. And then chapter 10 is 90% whole. Pick your money team, financial professionals. Ooh, that's so important. So important. When we're thinking about people who can help us with our money, thank you for joining. We're talking about Get Good with Money. When we're thinking about a certified financial planner, or sometimes CPAs have those services where they can provide financial guidance, or sometimes it's the bank or some other finance company that can provide, stand hi, okay, that can provide that help and that guidance. And so we need to think about how we're choosing people, because there are a lot of people, unfortunately, that want to scam, that want to take advantage of people. We need to figure out how to avoid those pitfalls, right? And I think that's what she's going to be talking about in Pick Your Money Team, Financial Professionals. And lastly is chapter 11, 100% whole, leave a legacy, estate planning, which also kind of ties into some other things with insurance and things like that, because if you think about life insurance, then that's a part of your estate planning. And again, I said this earlier when we were reading another section of the book, just to better understand it, it's so important that we prepare our loved ones for when we unfortunately pass away. So they are not just left there holding a bag. Like, they are just not left alone trying to sort everything, trying to figure everything out. Like, I don't know what to do because grandpa didn't leave any instructions. He didn't have a will. He didn't leave life insurance. Now we got to figure out how we're going to bury this person, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you guys for joining. We're talking about Get Good with Money. And so, it's so important that we think about these things. And that's what this book is about. And Retirement Obsessed, we're happy to have this be our first book club, so we can have a book study and discussions and talk about how to get good with money. Again, it's going to be every Wednesday evening at 7:30. We're going to read a little bit. We're going to have some discussion, and it's going to be great. Also, we have our launch event coming up, and our launch event is happening on January 21st at 7 p.m. It's on Zoom. The link is in the bio. I hope to see you there. The tickets are free. Again, it's virtual, so you can join from anywhere. And we really want to build a community of women who want to focus on ways to earn more, pay debt, and save for retirement. So important. I thank you guys for being here. If you have any questions about the book, let me know. Feel free to put it in there in the chat. Also, please make sure that you get a copy of the book. You can order it off of so many different platforms. It could be possibly TikTok. It could be Amazon. It could be so many different platforms where you can, or Barnes and Noble book clubs, all these different book clubs, you know, bookstores where you can get the book, your local library, if it's not in your budget to purchase the book. And I love a library. So I am a person that loves a library. So I actually got this copy from my local library because I like supporting my local library too. So I hope you'll join us. I want to see you there. I want to see you a part of the community. Just looking at these tools, because again, this is my first time ever going live, just better understanding stuff. I appreciate this. I appreciate you all. Thank you all for any gifts that you've given. I appreciate that. This is great. I'm just learning about this platform. As Retirement Obsessed continues to grow, it's a new venture for me, a new community for all of us. Again, it's a community of women who want to earn more, pay debt, and save for retirement. And this is the first book that we are going to read together. It is called Get Good with Money by Tiffany Aliche, also known as the Budgetnista. It says 10 simple steps to becoming financially whole. We all need to be financially whole, right? We all need to get good with money. I'm very excited to read this book. I'm excited for everything I can learn. I believe if you have a goal, whatever that goal is, you have to keep putting that goal in front of your face, right? I've used that for all the things I wanted to accomplish. And I believe it's going to be the same thing for me when I think about my personal money goals. I don't know what your money goals are, but I hope this book will help you. I hope this will give you an opportunity to learn more ways to earn more, pay debt, and save for retirement, which is Retirement Obsessed goal. That's what we want. And again, next Wednesday is our launch event on Zoom. The link is in the bio, in my bio. Please follow so that you can get more information about it. And then after that week, on, I believe, the 28th, that's when we're starting the first lives for our book club / book study of Get Good with Money by Tiffany Aliche. And it's going to be 7:30 Wednesday lives on TikTok. And we're going to have these conversations. We're going to connect with each other. We're going to go through this book and learn ways to earn more, pay debt, and save for retirement. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate your time. I'm going to stick on for just a couple more minutes and see if there's any other questions. I appreciate that. Yes. Okay. So again, this is Retirement Obsessed. This is our first live. We're excited to introduce our book club, which starts on the 28th every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. live on TikTok. We're going to go through this book. We're having like a book study. So bring your tea, your wine, your bubbles, whatever you enjoy, so that you can join us and have a great time and be prepared to read. Grab your water, stay hydrated, whatever works for you. And snacks, have snacks, whatever works for you, so that we can learn together. We can discuss this book. We really want to grow a community of women who want to earn more, pay debt, and save for retirement. Again, I appreciate all of you all being here. You guys are still joining, and we're going to be done fairly soon. I really appreciate that. That is great. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, Get Good with Money. Get the book. Okay, that's what we're going to be reading and going through. We're going to be reading this together. We're going to be talking about this book together starting Wednesdays, January 28th, 7:30 p.m. on TikTok. We'll be doing these lives and talking about this book together so that we can all get good with money. We can all learn ways to earn more, pay debt, and save for retirement, which is the focus of Retirement Obsessed. And I hope to see you there. Also, we are launching next week, retirementobsessed.com. Please visit retirementobsessed.com and join the movement and join us. We are on several different social media platforms. We do have a Facebook group. Feel free to join us on there. And we hope to see you a part of the community. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. So happy to not just talk to myself. Thanks. Bye.